Welcome back, Rellism Sports Talk, episode 150. We have made it to 150. Let's go. Yes, thank y'all for watching on YouTube. Hold on, let me get it. Thank y'all for watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify and Anchor. Checking us out on Facebook, Instagram, and at Rellism Pod on Twitter. All of the above. Check us out, subscribe, like, let us know what's going on, and join in on the sports debating. I want to thank 360 Painting locally here in Harrisonburg, Virginia, because all angles are covered with 360 Painting. Check us out. They take care of you. Quality pricing, quality work. Love for my Commanders, love for the Black Mamba, and all the love for my Mamba. Because on Rellism Sports Talk, we talk about sports from Hall of Famers to the local talent to the big time storylines. And of course, the big time storylines. We got to recap the Super Wildcard weekend. They put that super in there because they had to add that Monday night game, which was what I thought it was going to be. We'll get to that. And then I want to give you a preview of what the Friday Night Raw show is going to be. QB frenzy this offseason. It's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy. But you know what I'm saying? I got Jared, a.k.a. the producer, in the house, whether behind the scenes or on the scene. You know he's keeping the show extra clean. And I'm Terrell, your host, whether I'm right or wrong, whether I'm serious or funny. My debating skills are always straight money. You know what I'm saying? So first game. We had the Seahawks and the 49ers. If anybody that follows the show knows, last time these two teams played, we was at McAdoo's live doing the game. And it ended the way I thought it would. Maybe a different quarterback, but you know, Seahawks 49ers. Seahawks limped their way into the playoffs. It should have been our spot, but we got screwed by the Giants on some calls. I ain't even gonna dwell on that. But the Seahawks, with their comeback player of the year, yeah, I said it, Geno, they were supposed to be the worst team in football. They were supposed to be the worst team in football. They came through, got a rookie running back doing big things. I hate Pete Carroll, but is he that good of a coach? Dang. Seahawks showed up a little bit. DK was holding out. He didn't know what's going on. Is it going to be Locke? Who's going to be the quarterback? Everybody thought it was going to be Baker going there. They survived. They went there, and they were actually winning at halftime. And I'm sitting here, you know, I'm doing a little parlay, a little betting here and there. 49ers came through whatever they normally do and what they were supposed to do. The rookie, Mr. Irrelevant. Now, I guess he is relevant. He had 3 touchdowns and 1 running touchdown. The first rookie to ever do that. 352 yards was the most besides Russell Wilson. They had all that going on. But don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Because Deebo Samuels had a short pass, ran 74 yards. Christian McCaffrey had a long run and a little dump-off touchdown. I think the 49ers, and I'm not going to get into the big games because we'll do that on the Raw episode part 2. I think the 49ers, when you look at them, they ain't played nobody. They haven't played nobody. People used to always dog the Eagles, talking about, well, the Eagles ain't played nobody. That's why they undefeated, or that's why they only lost 1 game, or that's why they did this, that's why they did that. Who have the 49ers played? They played 2 teams with winning records in the regular season. Or should I say, almost winning records, because one of those teams was my Washington Commanders, who we had an even record with a tie. And they beat us. And then they beat a Miami team at home. And we saw what happened with Miami. So looking at it in the division, I'm like, Do I think they're formidable? Yes. I think they're the best defense? Sure. But hey, I'm just saying as we keep going, and they are my pick to get to the Super Bowl. But would I be surprised if they lose next round? Maybe not. Maybe not. Seattle, valiant effort. I'm curious to see what's going to happen with them. We'll talk about it on Raw when we talk about the QBs. Because you got to do something with Geno. What you going to do with Geno? Did he show something? Is he a one-hit wonder? We're going to talk about that. We're going to debate that between him and Daniel Jones. Because both of them are going to be up for contract extensions, franchise tag, or if they're going to give him a multi-year deal. We don't know. You got a rookie running back who seems like he's official. DK got a little money. Tyler Lockett don't seem like he's demanding much money. You got Noah Fant still on his rookie contract. But tight ends in Seattle, they come up everywhere. You got Kobe Bryant, number 8 on defense. Yeah, I said Kobe Bryant. You know how I am with Kobe Bryant. But Seattle was one of those teams that we thought was going to be banking for the future. But can they just do a couple things, get right on defense? Maybe so. I'm anxious to see that, and we'll talk about that on the Raw show. But the 49ers, they're moving on to the next step, which we thought they would. And we'll see what's going to happen with that in the next game. Unfortunately, I got to talk about the next game on my list, and that's the Chargers and the Jaguars. We got a group chat, in the Rellism Raw situation. We talk trash. You know how we do on Friday nights. And I was all up in the group chat talking trash. They were up 27-0, and I was guaranteeing the Chargers was going to beat the Chiefs. I was already looking past the Jaguars. And I had every reason to. Trevor Lawrence, 4 interceptions, first playoff debut. And I'm like, and I like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's gonna be official. He's gonna be coming into his own now that he's got a real coach. 4 interceptions first half. You lose at 27. It was 27-7 at because of a cheap little touchdown. But who cares? But then the third largest comeback in playoff history, the Jaguars come back. He had 4 interceptions first half. Then he comes back with 4 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence never looked scared. It was crazy. And I think that's all about coaching. They never looked scared. You never thought that they were going to lose the game because they never looked like they were nervous. The Chargers, exact opposite. You up 27-0, and I still felt uncomfortable because the coach has always made me feel uncomfortable all year long. All year long, he's making bonehead decisions. Bonehead decisions after bonehead decisions. Mike Williams, go ahead and play in this irrelevant game. We're paying you $100 million. But we're going to just go out there, break your back. And now what? They lose the game. I don't know how we're firing offensive coordinators and we're firing all these other coaches. And the coach of the Chargers keeps his job. I just don't understand what's going on at all with that. He's cost so many things. He's made so many bonehead decisions. And he's still there. But my biggest problem with the Chargers, because I had them in the Super Bowl. And now both my Super Bowl teams are out. My first one didn't even make the playoffs. They're horrible. And I love Austin Eckler. As a fantasy football fan, I love Austin Eckler. But you're up 27-0. You have to run the ball. Every team that's up that big, you just pound the clock. You run the ball. You pound it. What happened instead? They had 23 rushing attempts as opposed to 43 passes. You're winning the game by 4 touchdowns. And you're barely running the ball. And I think that's partly because of Austin Eckler. Everything that he can do in the passing game is great. But if you can't run the ball and run the clock out, Joshua Kelly's not that guy. They picked up some other guys that can't do it. They need to address that in the offseason. I'm so surprised the coach is still there. But I think the Chargers' future, I think Herbert has shown that he can be that guy. I really don't even believe that he's 100% healthy right now. What he had to deal with in the game against Kansas City in the beginning of the season. I don't know if he's 100% healthy or not. But I still have faith in Herbert. But Austin Eckler, I'm nervous about because this game finally showed me that they need somebody else that can run the ball through the trenches and just wear the clock out. And the Spiller, the rookie they drafted, reminds me of Austin Eckler, so he ain't going to do it. They need to go pick up somebody. Maybe it's Ezekiel Elliott in the offseason after Dallas folds. Who knows? I don't know. But I ain't going to jump the gun. We'll talk about those type of things. Jaguars, you're on your way. Congratulations to you. And for everybody that doubted me about Trevor Lawrence, I told you, he's coming, homie. He's the guy. He can throw the ball. Justin Fields, nothing against you because I would still took you in Washington if we would have drafted you. Trevor Lawrence is the guy. And Brent, if you did not watch the Raw show, the second episode with me and the GOAT, Brandon, we nailed almost every game about who was going to do what and everything. That's what I'm talking about. When you watch the Raw show with the elites on the second episode, you get all the information you need, whether to make money or to beat friends in any kind of games that you're doing. So big ups to Brandon for doing that with me. Jaguars, good luck next week against the Chiefs. I think you're done. I'd love for you to win because I don't want Patrick Mahomes to do nothing else. Dolphins, Bills. This was supposed to be a bloodbath. Spread was 13.5. 13.5. Brandon said he was cutting it off in the beginning of the game. He's in the group chat. I ain't even watching this trash. And the Bills is like what I've been saying over and over again. They look dominant, but they always seem to just never look fulfilling. Like Josh Allen just never looks like he's rushing things. Like he's rushing things all the time and turning the ball over, being so anxious. I think he's always trying to make up for that collapse by the defense against Patrick Mahomes and them in the game where they should have won when he had the miraculous, he's crying on the sidelines. Oh my God, I'm going to playoff history forever. And then Patrick Mahomes does things and Tyreek Hill finishes the game. Relax, slow down, Josh Allen, relax. Relax. It's bigger things bigger than the game. Check your teammate number 3. You know what I mean? Calm down. Calm down. But the Dolphins. The Dolphins. I mean, come on, dude. You had to deal with Tony Romo commentating the game, kissing Josh Allen all over everywhere. Every play, oh, Josh Allen, he's great. Watch what he does. The Dolphins, they went through everything. Their defense stepped up. They did all kinds of things. The referees, I don't know what they were watching because there was so many delay of games that the Dolphins got away with, even though they had to give up all their timeouts because of delay of games. The biggest thing was they got 3 field goals when all he needed was 1 touchdown to win that game. Skylar Thompson, a rookie quarterback, picked just before Purdy for San Francisco, 18 of 45 with 2 picks. And you still could have won the game. I think Coach McDaniel is special. I think that he's shown something that a lot of people just ain't doing right now. I think he's a great coach, great hire. The Dolphins' future, we'll talk about it on the Raw show because they say Tua's supposed to be the guy. I think if one of these big fish come in there, they might take them and try their luck. But the Bills, I don't know. They just don't look the same to me. I think they need to involve Cook more running the ball. Singletary barely did anything. He barely had any carries. And if they're not going to do that, then Josh Allen, run the ball. Just run the ball. I don't want you throwing it all crazy because you're throwing picks and doing this and this. If you want to be a man, run the ball then. Because nobody's talking about the penalty that happened when he threw the pick and the defensive lineman was standing like this, blocking him and everything else. And then he wants to push the defensive lineman. Then they got unsportsmanlike conduct and everything else, which stopped all kinds of momentum going on. Those kind of things are lapses in your mind. Those are the kind of things that shows me that you're not under control and you need to slow down. You're better than them. Slow yourself down. I don't know. The next game, which I hate to say, but love for my man Dave, who's a Giants fan. Not for you, Skilla, but for my man Dave. The Giants did what most people thought was going to happen. The Vikings, who I always keep saying are frauds. Frauds. Whether it's Kirk Cousins or not, we'll debate that on the Raw show. Because I don't know if it's Kirk Cousins' fault legitimately this time. We'll see. But I'm just going to tell you, 11 years the Giants took to win a playoff game. Great job. Daniel Jones. People are kissing his butt saying all these things about Daniel Jones. But let me remind you, 2 of his best games all year came against the Vikings. And the Vikings defense is tissue paper. And their defense is horrible. That's why people were picking them to lose, because they have no defense. We can name all these stars on offense. We can keep going and keep going and keep going. Their defense is the problem, and the defense has been the problem for a while. I don't care how good Daniel Jones went and Saquon Barkley getting his 2 TDs. The defense needs to be addressed from Jump Street in the offseason. Whether that means you let Dalvin Cook go and run with Madison, whether that means you have to let somebody else go. You have to pay Jefferson. He's talking about he wants to stay. He's up for an extension. You go ahead and do that. What, you got to let Thielen go? Oh, I got a Thielen. Ooh. That you're too old and you're going to be gone. You're going to be a salary cap casualty. Bye. You know what I'm saying? Irv Smith's there. You could probably let him go too, because Hawkinson showed what he could do. So I'm interested to see what the Vikings are going to do. You win all these games, and you lose in the playoffs. You're 11-0. Kirk Cousins is 11-0 before this game in one-score games. And people are like, oh, look how clutch he is. If anybody talks about Kirk Cousins, clutch is not one of the words we ever use. We might say crutch, but not clutch. You know what I'm saying? People can use, I look at it as, you're that bad you had to be in one-score games. You should be doing way better than that when you got Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, and all these guys like that. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at the other side of it. Not Captain Clutch, he's Captain Crutch. And I like that. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Cousins, you've been robbing teams for a long time now. I'm anxious to see what's gonna happen. We'll talk about it on the Raw show because he's one of the quarterbacks we'll talk about. But these two coaches, I think are gonna be around for a while. I think they're both great at what they're doing. You know, Daboll just lit a fire under the Giants, their GM. Great draft, getting the inside out with the trenches. And the Vikings, I mean, he lit a fire under Kirk Cousins and made him believe that he was something. Most businesses do that, and they say, you know what, we're going to get you a raise. You're great. You're all that. In the back of their mind, like, yeah, I just need you to get me through this year, and then I'm going to get somebody else. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it's not. We'll see what's going on with that, because I think there's a lot of hidden smoke between them Vikings and that quarterback. We'll see, because he is getting older. I mean, his peak already passed him by, right? I don't know. He's not Tom Brady. So going to the next game, which I thought was going to be another smash. The Bengals, who I'm high on, who I want to go to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, doing things. Granted, you're playing another AFC North team. Third time. It's hard to beat a team third time, which they keep saying all the time. I don't believe that. If you beat them twice, you should beat them a third time, because obviously you know what best things they do, especially without their start quarterback. I don't want to hear that crap. They should have destroyed them. And it came down to the point of a 98-yard fumble recovery, which is kind of like controversial, because did the ball tip the line? Did it not? When he's returning it, was there a block in the back? There's all kinds of things going on with that. And I look at it like, you needed all that to win against the Ravens and Tyler Huntley? Really? That makes me nervous. That makes me so nervous, because I'm all about the Bengals. But it seems like they're resorting back to the old Bengals. My man Burrow is getting sacked, smacked, and flipped all around. I don't know what's going on. You got all your weapons there, and you're getting smacked around. I don't know if it had something to do with the Monday night game, if they're still lingering from that, because the last game they played didn't look that great either. So I don't know if they're still bitter about certain things, which we'll talk about on the Raw show. Bitter about maybe having to go to Buffalo instead of a even field playing field. I don't know, because it's Kansas City gets that, and Buffalo gets that with Kansas City. Why didn't Cincinnati get that? But that's another story for Friday night. But here's my thing with John Harbaugh, the Ravens coach. He's been there a while. People like him. He's a class act dude, according to them. He's asked about the play that ultimately cost him the game. He says, oh, well, I designed that play, and he was supposed to go underneath. He went over the top. So I called the right play, but he just didn't execute it well. Why are you throwing him under the bus? You got a backup quarterback, and you throwing him under the bus right there. If you didn't think that he was capable of doing the right thing, don't call that play. Don't call that play. You have J.K. Dobbins, who was killing in the game, and you have a multitude of other running backs, because y'all never have any wide receivers. So you got about 45 running backs that can do things. Or himself, just running outside or whatever. John Harbaugh should have never done... John Harbaugh should have never done that. I feel bad for Huntley, but I think that he showed digression. Last year, I'm like, hey, man, he's doing good things, da-da-da. You winning games 9-6. Yeah, he won games with Lamar gone, but they weren't doing anything offensively. Whether it's him, whether it's the organization, put pieces around him. Now you're in a tough spot, because Lamar Jackson's out here on Twitter giving out these little cryptic tweets talking about when you have something, you need to treat it good. Or if you don't treat it good, then they'll go away. And all this stuff. People trying to figure out whether he's talking about he wants to stay and let's work it out, or y'all blew it, I'm out of here. Who knows? We'll debate that on Raw. But you should have never even got to this point, yo. You knew what you had when you had him. You were enjoying him at that rookie contract winning MVPs, and he won his first playoff game. You should have figured out which way you wanted to go then, because you haven't done nothing for him at all. And I'm finally glad that he sat out and didn't play these games because he needs to get that money, money, money. That's what it's all about. Money, money, money. A football career is this big. One hit and it's over. You know what I mean? So go ahead and get that guaranteed money. I don't think you deserve $200 million, but go ahead and get a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? Why are you greedy for $200 million? Just get $100 million, $150 million. I mean, Jesus Christ, throw me $1 million. I don't know. And then in the prime time game, which made it a super wild card event, America's team, the Cowboys, against America's hero, Tom Brady. It is what I said it was going to be. Everybody's talking about, oh, the Cowboys are going to lose to Tom Brady because Tom Brady's all this. Have we not watched the whole season? Have we not watched Tampa Bay suck? I mean, Tampa Bay was this close to losing the division to the Carolina Panthers. To the Carolina Panthers, who fired their coach, traded their best player, and is a horrible franchise right now. Good thing they had Steve Wilkes to hold them back. That's right, I said Steve Wilkes. They almost won a division. And you're expecting, because it's Tom Brady, that they're going to beat Dallas with all those weapons and everything? Really? Really? This ain't old school Tom Brady. It is what I said it was going to be. And I even quoted saying Dak Prescott was going to have one of the best games of his career. And he did. 4 touchdowns passing. 1 running. No interceptions. The first time in 8 games. No interceptions for Dak Prescott. And that was one of the biggest things that he kept saying. Well, he kept saying it for weeks and weeks. But he finally lived up to the billing. And showed out. He showed out. Yeah, I know the Mare or whatever missed 4 extra points, whatever. So what? We busy talking about that. Don't even talk about that no more. Who cares? Let's talk about what they did and why they did. Just like I said on the last Raw show, I said Vander Esch coming back in the middle changes everything. That opens up Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence to do other things that they need to do. Vander Esch changed the game. And if Vander Esch healthy, which I cannot believe, and thank God this dude is healthy, even though I hate the Cowboys, he's had multiple neck injuries. I mean, how many people come back from multiple neck injuries? So he is a blessing for them to do the things he needs to do. And the Cowboys, I mean, what did you think was going to happen? I'll tell you what, though. If you're smart Cowboys, you better go ahead and pay Dalton Schultz right now. Because if we look at the tight end situation around the league, there's not many that you can really say, okay, Dalton Schultz is one they got. Dalton Schultz is a guy at the tight end spot. Simple as that. I don't care what nobody says. He's up there. He's definitely top 7. You know, I would say that, top 7. I mean, you talk about who's he throwing the ball to. Gallup got a couple catches. CD didn't really come on to the end of the game. It was Schultz. It was Schultz doing different things. You know what I mean? So I think you got to go ahead and pay him and let Parsons be Parsons. Parsons was all over Tom Brady so much. Tom Brady's out here cussing everybody. He's cussing his line. He's cussing the refs. He's cussing everybody going on. You want to know why he's cussing? Because he's 45 years old and he threw a career high 66 passes. 45 years old throwing 66 passes? You take me outside right now and tell me to throw 66 passes, 20 yards. My arm might fall off. I mean, I'm just saying. How do you expect him to win? And that's why they talk about Todd Bowles getting fired. We'll talk about Byron Leftwich because he's going to be one of my... Tell me why. Because I feel like he's getting a bum rap. They need to run the ball with White. They started doing that, but it was too late. That pick six, or that pick in the end zone when Tom Brady threw that, that's because of the defense coming there. You tried to bring in Ryan Jensen, you know, first game coming back from being injured. You know he ain't healthy, but he wanted to play for the playoffs. That offensive line could not keep Tom Brady stable. And everybody knows if you get Tom Brady getting happy feet, you have a chance to win. As great as he is, you have a chance to win. Now we look at it like Cowboys. Cowboy fans are the most obnoxious fans other than Eagle fans. They're both obnoxious. But the Cowboy fans are oblivious. They're like, we're going to the Super Bowl. Look how great we looked against Tom Brady. Dude, you didn't play defense against Tom Brady. Tom Brady ain't playing no defense. You know what I'm saying? Every time you play a game that you look trash, you usually come back and play well. You played the Texans, the worst team in football according to records. Well, other than the Bears. Then you come back and smash the Vikings, who are frauds. You go to Washington, and we destroy y'all like we destroyed Philadelphia. Yeah, we destroyed both of y'all. But now you come back and win. Now you're going to San Francisco with a real defense that can match up with yours. I'm not saying that Dallas will lose, but it's going to be a whole different kind of game because the defense is going to really step up and be there. You got a Parsons, they got a Bosa. I'm just saying, it's going to be interesting. Can the Cowboys win? Sure. Sure they can, because there is a rookie quarterback on the other side, which we're going to dive into on the Friday second episode. But on the other side of it, of course, everybody's going to focus on Brady and the things that he said. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? Shall I stay or shall I go? We've already heard rumors before the tampering with Miami. Even though the Miami GM was like, oh, Tua's going to quarterback. Hey, y'all talk trash. And then we talked about the Raiders. Raiders already. Who's the coach for the Raiders? Josh McDaniel, his old offensive coordinator. And he's got a guy like Devontae Adams. Remember the last time Tom Brady had a wide receiver like that? Like Randy Moss? Undefeated season. So all I'm saying is, there's going to be a lot of talk about Tom Brady. It's going to be a lot of talk about that. And that's going to be the QB discussions on the Raw episode that we're going to dive into, because it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. On the Raw episode, we'll have the fellas, whoever can get on. We're going to do a preview of all the divisional games. And then we're going to talk QBs. Aaron Rodgers. He's already talking about different things. He ain't even talking about different teams. He's talking about himself, as usual. Ron. Talking about, I can still win the MVP. Where's he going to go? I say he's going to be Brett Favre Jr. Well, I'll dive into that later. Brady, what's he going to do? Stay or go? Lamar, what's he going to do? What's his tweet mean? Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill. Y'all both been top seeds in the playoffs. Never live up to the billing. How long before the organization says enough is enough and it's time for a change? You heard that, Brandon? That was Owen Hart. Enough is enough and it's time for a change. Any wrestling fan would know what I'm talking about. But then, Geno and Daniel Jones, they both were afterthoughts. Jones didn't get his deal picked up. Geno was supposed to, I don't know what Geno was supposed to be. Drew Lock was supposed to be the quarterback, or Baker, or whoever else. Now they earned themselves some money. Question is, how much? What team? Is it a franchise? Where are we going to go with that? So, check us out on Friday night. First episode is going to be 9:45. It won't load up that way because the producer always got to enhance our stuff and make us look clean. But check us out either late Friday night, early Saturday morning. We're going to have this or that with all these topics. Tell me why. And then we got fake news or big time storylines. Rellism Sports Talk episode 150, baby. We're at 150. Big things popping. Stay tuned for some more live events that we're going to do. We might be doing some things that y'all really want to check out. Appreciate y'all checking us out. Rellism Sports Talk episode 150.
You good?
We out, baby. Thanks, Jared, for holding it down. Jared always keeps us looking good. Keep me straight. Love y'all. Thank y'all.